What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another Tottenham update, and quite a few bits to get into today. And we're going to start off talking about Vicario. We all saw what happened at the end of the game last night out in Alkmaar, calling for more support from the fans, the travelling fans, and, you know, a certain... quite a few members of the travelling away sport taking quite offence to that. But Vicario has come out on Instagram today to clarify what actually happened at the end of that game. And he says, as a team, we take full responsibility for our terrible performance on the pitch last night. We will work even harder to understand as a mature group what went wrong. Still, we have a great opportunity starting from Sunday to redeem ourselves and prepare in the best way possible for the second battle next Thursday. Regarding what happened at the final whistle in front of the away section, I want to clarify my intention to keep everyone as united as possible, even the disappointment we have caused our people. If I offended anyone, I apologise to those who felt affected. Post-match emotions can be misunderstood, but I assure you that my commitment to the team and to you, our fans, grows stronger day after day. COYS together.
Well, yeah, I was obviously in the stadium and I saw what he did. That's kind of how I took it. Obviously, the fans took it in a different direction and another way. And some fans say, you know, arguing, how could you ask for more support from us when we're, you know, spending lots of money to be here in inconvenient times, and you're putting in, not him personally, but the team is putting in such abject performances, not even having a shot on target. And if we want to voice our disgruntlement at that, then we're well on our right to, and I think that's fair enough as well. But I understand what Vicario's intention was, what he's trying to do, and I think maybe under different circumstances it would have been taken differently. But unfortunately, how the season has gone, there's a lot of anger and frustration right now, and I think it's understandable that fans kind of voicing that at the moment. So I think it's probably, I don't think it's right to direct it towards Vicario, but Vicario was the one who made the gesture, and
Maddison as well, apparently.
Maddison as well, but he wasn't obviously as he didn't make such a scene of like Vicario did. Animated is the word. He wasn't as animated as Vicario. So I just think maybe it was something that was misread from the fans, but as well, Vicario should have known that there's going to be a lot of anger there and shouldn't have been surprised by it.
Look, at the end of a performance like that, in a game like that of that magnitude, tensions are always going to be rising high, particularly after, you know, such an abject display as he mentioned in his Instagram post. But I think, like, when you're looking at Vicario specifically, he is one of the very few players that can sit there and say he stands up for the team every single day and every single game. And he definitely did that again last night, was probably our best performer on the pitch. So I think that whoever was offended by it, I think a line just needs to be drawn under it now. He's come out and apologised to anyone that's been offended. He's said that, you know, he hasn't meant any kind of ill feeling towards anyone. He obviously values the fans very highly. And I think once the emotions kind of die down from it, I think the fans can say that, you know, the ones that were offended do value Vicario very highly as well for what he puts into this club and what he gives to the team and the leadership that he shows to his fellow teammates week in, week out. So I don't think this should be a topic anymore. And I think the fans and everyone should just move past it and show Vicario the love that he deserves.
I agree. And as well, if we like players showing passion and doing this kind of thing, like, you shouldn't go over the top when they do, which is a large part of why players tend to not do that a lot of the time, and we complain that players being robots and all these different things because of these kind of reactions we get when players do show a bit of passion, a bit of personality. All of a sudden, you know, fans jump on their backs, and I think it's important not to always do that when players show a bit of personality.
Yeah, look, I agree to a certain extent, but I just don't think yesterday after a game like that was the time and place. And he did look like, whatever you want to say, like to the eye and what it looked like, it did look like a sign of anger towards the fans. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, but it was obviously misread. But yeah.
And let's talk about the injuries going into the game this weekend. Ange says he did not rule out the England international Dom Solanke out of the meeting with his former side. He says with Dom, I think he's got a knee into the back, which is probably a bit sore. It's a knock, so hopefully it settles down pretty quickly. Yeah, like I've heard Ange say a player's a bit sore before and then he's out for the next 2-3 weeks. Let's hope that's not the case.
Yeah, I think each obviously case is different. I think no two cases are the same, but it did look a pretty bad hit to the back, and back's obviously a very sensitive area. You've got to be very careful with it. So obviously Solanke's a tough cookie. He's usually shakes these things off quickly, but he has had a knee injury as well. I don't doesn't look like that's affected, but hopefully there's no swelling or anything like that's causing him any lack of movement and things like that, which is very important to how he wants to play. It's obviously a massive blow, not exactly what you want when he's just come back from injury 20 minutes in, and he takes that blow to the back, and obviously it's very frustrating. Another player, and if he is injured, it's another player that goes onto a long line of injured players who have come back and in their first game got re-injured again. Again, there's probably a bit of a slice of luck to this one, but still carries on a bit of a theme, which has happened a number of times.
Yeah, absolutely. And it did worry me and concern me a little bit that when he was playing yesterday, he was playing with a bit of strapping on his leg, which suggests maybe there is something still bothering him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the first player to do that, but yeah, potentially.
He also said on Ben Davis that he said that there's a chance that Ben Davis could return to the side on Sunday with Bournemouth. I'm not really sure. He's training at the moment, so we'll see how he feels. He definitely progressed and feels good, so we'll see how we go in the next 24 to 48 hours. He has a chance for Sunday, but we'll have to see how it goes. So that's Ben Davis, and also Richarlison remains sidelined.
Yeah, and he's also saying Van de Ven and Romero are hoping to get some game time on Sunday as well, which is really great news. Let's hope we get to see him, because we thought we were going to see him on Thursday. Didn't happen. He said he looked at the pitch and thought, I ain't going to risk him in this game. So looking at our pitch, hopefully he doesn't think the same, because we usually get Groundsman of the Year, don't we?
Pristine.
Exactly, pristine.
Groundsman of the Year, you'll never sing that.
No expense spell. Who says he doesn't spend money on the pitch? Who says? But let's hope we get to see Van de Ven and Romero both on Sunday. I'm not sure if they're both going to start, but obviously with Davis coming back as well, hopefully that means centre-back options look really healthy, so we can keep Romero, Van de Ven for the Europa League and then play Davis and Danso, which maybe should be a bit of a better partnership than Dragoshin and Davis, potentially.
Yeah, I would assume so, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see which way he goes in the centre-back positions. If Davis is fit, do you think he definitely comes straight back in then to the lineup?
No, not on Sunday, but potentially going forward, maybe the Fulham game after that.
In terms of potential transfers, Christian Falk, Bayern journalist, says that there's interest from Tottenham in Bayern Munich winner Kingsley Coman. In terms of Kingsley, obviously a player of high caliber, very high caliber, 28 years of age. It feels like he's been around forever. I love him as a player, but the problem is, first of all, injuries. He's had injury problems his whole career. And second of all, the high wages. He's on about between 320 and 350 grand a week. So with him being out of contract, he is going to want something similar to that at least to move on, and particularly to drop down a level as far as to Tottenham. He'll probably want even more than that.
Yeah, I don't think it's a realistic opportunity. I like him a lot, and I think he'd be a really good player for us, especially the way we play our wingers. I think he'd be kind of perfect for it. But as you say, giving a 28-year-old with injury problems that kind of wage packet, I don't think it's realistic for a club like us. I don't think the financial guys will look at the numbers and think they add up, to be honest. So unless he's willing to take a major pay cut, I just don't see this one happening.
Yeah. Can you see him, though, going anywhere and getting kind of the same wages? Like, where else can he go and get those wages?
Probably obvious in Saudi.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? But with Coman, interestingly...
Back to PSG, maybe?
They've gone a completely different route to that now. Have you seen the wingers that they've got at that football club?
Yeah.
But this season is actually probably his most injury-free season that he's had in his career. He's only missed like 3 games all season.
So maybe gave me a good time. I don't know if we can convince him to come as well. Maybe, I don't know. I don't see Tottenham making the numbers work for them. I just don't see it.
Well, with these kind of links, with season ticket renewals coming next week, apparently.
I see. That's why Falk's putting it out.
Yeah. Next one, we're going to talk about Jack Grealish. No, serious link there, but the Mail reporting that Man City would be willing to sell Jack Grealish this summer at a cut price deal, and then he does mention that Tottenham have been linked with him in the past. So, I mean, yeah, we saw these clips doing the rounds last week of Jack Grealish in some sort of social club up in Newcastle or something. Walking out I think it was a different case, but walking out of a bar or a pub, something like
Apparently put
completely paralytic.
Apparently put $2,000 behind the bar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I want to be in a bar with
Just for himself,
Jack
apparently.
Grealish
No?
is there.
I think the $2,000 just for him. Yeah, look, he's a great guy.
He's a great guy. He is a great player on his day. Obviously, it hasn't worked out for him really at Man City. I say it hasn't worked out for him. Still walks out with, 2 or 3 Premier League medals, a Champions League and an FA Cup.
Not bad.
But
Not bad for a flop.
yeah, but he went there for 100 million and it just hasn't worked out like that for him. But I still think he's a top caliber player, and I think if he can go somewhere and be a main man and be a key part of a team, I still think, you know, he can still have a really good rest of his career. And do you think a move to Spurs could be a possibility?
I've got a weird feeling. I know I get these feelings sometimes. He's going to go back to Villa. I think I've got a feeling that it depends, I guess, on them if they get back in the Champions League or not. But if they can get back into Europe or back in the Champions League, I think I don't think they keep Rashford, and I think they maybe put that money towards someone like Grealish.
Yeah,
and try and get him back. And I think he'd be open to it. Boyhood club, he was a hero there. And I think he maybe he wants that feeling again of being the main man again, and you can definitely feel that at Villa. I think he could fit in at Tottenham, but I don't know. Again, he's just a bit older and a big wages. It's not the kind of deals we like to do.
I think Villa are probably the only club in the world that are going to give Jack Grealish those kind of wages.
Yeah, exactly. And if they can maybe offload 1 or 2 more, obviously they sold Duran for a bit. Or maybe if they don't continue with Asensio and Rashford, maybe that money goes towards re-signing Grealish, and obviously he will come with a hero's welcome, and maybe they can get him playing like he was when he was there previously.
Yeah, and he's actually going to a club in a much better state as well. And last but not least, Ben Jacobs says that Spurs have already made contacts with Dibling's camp and believe he is sold on the project, while there is also a confidence that Ange Postecoglou is the right manager to further develop his game. So I have to see what happens on Thursday then.
Look, I like Dibbling. I think really good player, a lot of potential, done very well for Southampton, and I think it would be a good signing for us. But again, that would be another signing about us squad planning for the future rather than looking to tackle what's ahead of us next season, whatever competition we find ourselves in or not in. That is kind of, as much as I do like him and I think he will be a great player for us, it's not a signing that's going to kind of push us on as much as it will.
Future, yeah.
As in it will improve us, but it's not like a signing where you still have to expect patience with a lot of these things and for it to come together. So if you're looking for a kind of acceleration of the project, I don't think a Dibbling does that, but it does maybe just add another building block.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know what is the plan for next season. Like,
who knows?
We don't know right now. We don't even know what the manager's going to be next season. We don't know anything next season. So I feel like for a young player, well, forget a young player, I just don't know what our plans are going to be for this summer. Are we still going to be kind of trying to get the best youth talent all around Europe, or are I actually going to go and get some experienced players to try and take this team on to the next level? It's just so hard to see which direction this club's going to be going in.
Yeah, I know. Getting, as you say, like Ange was very much in himself. He said he agreed with the approach the club is going in, all this kind of stuff, younger players. But then he also said they're lacking a bit of experience, and he wanted to get some experienced players in. But then it depends who the new manager is as well for a lot of things. So yeah, it's all very much up in the air, a lot of uncertainty. But one thing Dibbling will know is he's looking at the team right now, and a lot of our younger players are getting a lot of game time. So I think it shows if you're playing well and you're earning a spot on the team, you will play. So I think that's encouraging enough for a young player. Yeah,
it's true. I mean, you just look at Lucas Bergvall, right? Wasn't playing much in the Premier League first half of the season. Injuries, he got his chance. And now he's in there ahead of a Pape Sarr, Bissouma, all these kind of regular players that have been in the side over the last year or two. And he's the first choice at the moment. So if you do stuff of merit at Tottenham, you'll get the chances, that's for sure.
That's what I think, yeah.
So that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories we've brought to you today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on,